Wake up, a new Midjourney update finally dropped. Let's take a look at the new upscaler. First, we can go over the announcement. There is a 2x and a 4x upscaler. You'll find them under any normal job after you already upscale one of the images. You can find it on old jobs using the show ID function. This upscale that just launched is a subtle upscaler. It's going to try to keep details as close as possible to your original image. This might be a bit of a problem though. The 4x upscaler costs roughly 3 times as much minutes as the 2x upscaler. Right now, using this feature is not cheap. In fact, both upscalers only work with fast hours right now. They're gonna try to let us test it on relax mode eventually, but don't count on that for the time being. Quickly, let me point out that there are some known issues. Something about a black or corrupted image on the 4x upscaler, I haven't come across that yet. If you have a blurry image, it's not going to be unblurred by this new upscaler. And apparently images might get slightly darkened when using this. That's interesting. I don't know if I've noticed that either. But now let's get to the pictures. I've got a robot to show you, a dragon, a coloring page, and an oil painting. I feel like that will give us a pretty good mix of different styles. First, let me show you the size differences in the files. This is pretty important. The base is your standard 796 by 1194 with a size of 1.32 megabytes. And this was a 2:3 aspect ratio. Just keep that in mind. The 2x upscaler brought it up to 840 by 1260 and raised the file size to 1.42 megabytes. And that might not seem impressive, but take a look at the 4x. 3584 by 5376, 23.4 megabytes. That's a big difference. Now for the exact comparison, over here on the left side is your base image. In the middle we have the 2x and on the right we have the 4x. At the standard zoom, it's really difficult to see a difference. In fact, I don't think you'd be able to tell just by looking at it here. But the magic of these upscalers come from when we zoom in, or in most cases, it's going to be when you blow up the picture for printing or framing it on a wall. And when we zoom in about twice as much on each image, can you start to see the differences? I think in the original image, we are starting to see the blur, the less than fine detail that's really there. 2x is looking pretty good, and I think 4x is quite similar. Zooming in even farther though, this is where you're gonna get the real meaningful change. Obviously, things seem more pixelated and blurry around the original image. 2x is looking okay, but take a look at the light in the eye around the 4x. That is quite clear at nearly 6 times the zoom. That is thoroughly impressive. Here's a quick look at the coloring pages. Again, you can't really tell a difference from far away. And even when we zoom in, is there really a difference at all? I think the base image is clearly more blurry, but I was really hoping for a bigger difference in the small parts of the coloring page, the separation between the black and the white, and it definitely makes a difference. I'll say that. The 4x is way better than the base, and this might make a big difference if you're trying to get into the coloring book industry, but you're probably already using some sort of upscaler for your images, so I'm not sure if the trade-offs with how expensive this is to use inside of Midjourney will actually be worth it. Let me go through the other 2 examples and then I'll show you just how long it actually takes to render some of these upscales. Here's our robot from a distance, can't see anything. I think this zoom in is quite noticeable. Just look at the details inside of this chrome part of his helmet. In the base on the left, it's quite dirty, it's definitely not crisp. Even in the 2x has become much more crisp. I think you could argue that the 2x looks even better than the 4x at this zoom. Must be something about the details. But when you zoom in even farther, that is clearly when the 4x is the most powerful. I don't want to repeat myself too much, you get the idea. But I actually think that this oil painting example might show the clearest difference between the resolutions. Again, from a distance, no different, but let's zoom in on one of these characters. A very clear difference, right? I mean, in such a detailed scene in the original image, I'm sure you've known this if you've worked with Midjourney long enough, the detail does not hold up at all when you zoom in. 2x is doing a surprisingly good job, and 4x just has so much personality in it still. Like that's worth the price of admission, I think. We slide over to another character like this guy right here having a good time. He's a pixelated blurry mess. In the 2X, I still don't think he looks that great, but better than the original. And then look at the 4X. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. It still looks like a painting, even at like, you know, 5 times the zoom in or whatever I'm at right now. Like that's wild. Look how detailed that. You can still see brush strokes up here. Yeah, let's go all the way in. Should something like that be the thumbnail? Like that's a pretty clear difference, right? Whoa, like you can still see texture on this guy's skin. That's a pretty big selling point right there. But okay, let's go back into Discord and let me show you how long this takes to actually do. Before we start, let me show you how much fast hours I currently have. I have 0.33 left. That'll give you an idea of just how much we use in this next set of generations. Let's go with Portrait of a Pirate Queen Unsplash, and a little bit of chaos to get some variety. I'm gonna leave it at 16:9 to show you one specific thing afterwards. Okay, we'll go with number 3. And this is where we'll have our options, the upscale 2X and the upscale 4X. Let me quickly type /info into the prompt box so we can see how many fast hours I have now after that generation. Down to 0.32. We spent 1 fast minute. We'll go to our picture, hit the 2X upscale, and the 4X upscale. Now that these have started, I'll just sit here for a minute and maybe I'll fast forward the footage, but you'll see just how long these actually take to complete. It's not fast. Well, the 2X actually went by fairly quickly, but as you can see here, this 4X is taking its sweet time. And I have to point out that I've seen the inverse of that, where the 4X will have gone quicker and the 2X will have taken its time. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Now let's go back into our info, and I'm down to 0.22. Generating the grid cost 1 minute. Generating the 2 upscalers cost 10. That's gonna go through your fast hours pretty quickly, so you're really gonna have to pick and choose which upscales matter the most to you. Let me know if you have any strategies about how you're gonna go around doing that. Okay, it's finally done. Now here's what I wanted to point out. When you go to download and save this 4X upscale, you'll click on it, right click, save image as, but it's not gonna work. You'll get it as a web file. Now that's a little annoying, right? So what you'll actually have to do is go to the Midjourney website to download it as a PNG. Luckily, we can go there right from Discord. I guess the file size is just too large for Discord to handle. So underneath the image, we're gonna hit this web button. That's gonna open the Midjourney website for us. This is where we can right click, save as, and now it'll appear as the PNG. And that's the reason I left it as a 16:9, because I've noticed that's one of the only times that you'll need to go to the website to do that. Like here for the coloring page, it's fine just to download it straight from Discord. The file size is not large enough. So in case you were wondering what's going on, why is the download acting funny, that's the reason why. There's your quick recap of the newest Midjourney update. What do you all think about these new upscalers? Is it worth it? Is it worth the fast hours? I hope you're doing well. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.